go.
The trots were once a big night out, but now they're racing to survive.
He had, what'd you have? So losers always keep seated, winners always get up. So I'll play this one. This is the song I wrote.
Peter V.Landys is the maverick manager of Harold Park Paceway in Sydney. He's trying to bring a new, upwardly mobile generation to the track through a multi-million-dollar facelift and 90s-style marketing and promotion.
Take a shot, you can win a lot. Flash that winning smile, hit the spot. You'll reach the top, do it all in style. It's a night to excite, and we'd like to invite you. Harold Park.
The tastes of people have become more sophisticated. People won't sit on cement seats and eat hot dogs. They want comfort, they want class, they want style. And that's what you've got to give them. And that's why we had to make the investment. Otherwise, in 10 years, there wouldn't be any harness racing. What we found is that the gentlemen that were normally coming on their own once or twice a month now bring their wives. And their wives mightn't be totally interested in harness racing, but they go and play the poker machines. So we get their money as well. And they're bigger spenders than the men. On non-race days, we provide very cheap meals, $5 for a meal. If I go and spend $5 on the meal, have a great time because they think it's a cheap meal, then I'll go and spend $50 on the poker machines. The humanity is very strange in that regard. People won't pay an extra dollar to have something to eat. They'll go and invest $50 and lose it on the poker machines.
Now, Peter and his team are in the run-up to the Melbourne Cup of harness racing, the controversial Miracle Mile.
The Miracle Mile is harness racing's flagship. It's the one that generates the most exposure for harness racing. And basically, we want to make every post a winner with it to ensure that we maximise exposure, maximise promotion. And we're just meeting with the promotion teams from track.We today to see how we can do that.
No, that's okay. These things happen.
Peter V.Landys, no,
sorry.
Go ahead,
I'll introduce you to Joanna. Hello, Jane.
Hi, Jane. How are you?
Very well.
G'day, Murray. Nice to meet you. One of the big things of the Miracle Mile is that it causes controversy by the selection of the field. Yeah. I mean, it causes pub brawls, it causes, everyone to argue. It always causes controversy. In New Zealand, the Miracle Mile is front page news. If we don't pick someone, Harold Park does at Chapel, underarmed us or something like that.
Australia does it again, yeah.
Australia does it again.
Yeah.
So, although I think the horse that should win is Miracle, who won the Miracle Mile here last year anyway.
Oh, right. What's it called?
Miracle.
Miracle.
Yeah. It's named after me, a Greek god, so it's...
But already there's trouble brewing in the countdown to the Miracle Mile. The local community says that in exchange for allowing Harold Park the use of local council land, they were promised a hockey field in the middle of the track, one they'll never have if Harold Park keeps on increasing the number of races it runs.
And what they're trying to do now is restrict the operation of our business so they can have a hockey field here. After we were, from the goodness of our heart, we gave them land free of charge to have the hockey field here. There's going to be a meeting at Glebe Town Hall on Thursday evening. So I've just called the General Manager of Leichhardt Council and told him that we'd like to be there to defend ourselves against the defamatory remarks that will be made and against the scaremongering and the misinformation that will be supplied by these people. Lies, lies, lies. Lies, lies, lies. Don't know how you can describe it. Lies, lies, lies.
When Harold Park wanted to build and extend, they got community support and valued public open space by promising that there would be a synthetic hockey field, a building for hockey club amenities, and land opposite Minogue Crescent, which would be set aside for public use. We're still waiting.
With regards to the heads of agreement the club has and the lease with the hockey club, it has honoured every condition of both those agreements with the hockey club. So to say that we haven't been assisting the hockey club is quite untrue. The harness racing industry employs 12,000 people throughout New South Wales and provides $90 million to state consolidated revenue for education and schools. And we didn't believe, because we are acting in their best interests. I just hope you give me this. You can boo and jeer as much as you like when I finish, but please let me just express our opinion and give the same courtesy you gave the other speakers. At no stage or at no time has my board or the club considered anything of increasing its hours in any which way or form. And it was regrettable that scaremongers come out and try to picture us as though we are doing the wrong thing, which we are not. Thank you for letting me speak.
It certainly does seem that gambling in Australia is being seen as a panacea for all the economic ills of governments throughout this country. They think that by expanding and increasing gambling, that funds can be raised to help them with their economic problems. Well, that may be the case in the short term, but in the long term, it has grave effects on communities like ours and communities throughout this country.
I think the community should get more militant. We've passed paper talk, we've passed talking. It's time we reclaim that land down there. Now, I suggested, Jim, there's a bridge there, and I've heard quite a few times, 50 people can hold a bridge against thousands. So my suggestion is we hold that bridge every meeting, we block that bridge, so no horses, no cars, nothing get through until they remit.
It seems to be unanimous that this community wants to take direct action. I think we should start, I think it's the 12th of December, the Miracle Mile.
It's typical bloody radicals doing their best to try to upset, something that's been there since for 100 years. I can't see what they can protest about. We've done nothing wrong. We've honoured all our commitments. If they want to protest, they'll be wasting their time. And if they in any which way or form interfere with our business, we'll take every legal action we have available. I mean, Miracle Mile Night generates in excess of $3-4 million. If they've got that sort of money, well, they can pay us and they can do whatever they like. Gee, what are some defamatory remarks though, mate? Luckily I'm a big boy. Back to the dungeon. I mean, how can they blockade Harold Park without being sued for damages? It would be an extremely, extremely brave council that would expose themselves to multi-million-dollar damages by blocking the road. And if they do that, well, they deserve what they'll get.
So you'll have a talk to them about that?
Oh yeah, I'll go up and see that. Nah. Good look out. Thank you, linesman. Thank you, ball boys. We will be issuing letters to all the people that have threatened blockades that if they don't, in writing, tell us that they're not going to carry out any action which will disrupt the business of this race club, we will take out a Supreme Court injunction to stop them. Well, the people that we know that are involved, that are organising it, is that concerned group of residents that you referred to, which is a group of minority radicals, I guess is the word to use. Basically, it says that the council support the appropriate resources, the blockade of the roadway on the night of the Miracle Mile race. The council write to the minister to interfere with our business, and basically that they want to change the agreement that's already in place. They realise now that the club has not breached any part of the agreement, so what they're trying to do is change the agreement, change the goalposts. The club has information which now will refer to the Independent Commission Against Corruption, and we will also ask the Minister for Local Planning to sack the council. I mean, they're promoting an illegal criminal activity to interrupt the business of a commercial organisation with no merit. And the club will take every action possible so justice prevails. We will not give in to extortion. He's got off to
Where's that, Tim?
all this week and all next week.
Well, I won't fall out of my chair.
We're looking at 2 entertainers on Miracle Mile dinner. If you don't mind just looking at my draft procedure over the page.
I really don't want to go through this because I've got very limited time and I want to talk about the promotions. Yeah. I'm not worried about the dinner because you've made one little mistake here, Jackie.
What's that?
There's an awards night going on at the same time.
Well, I've got it here at 9:35.
Yeah, okay, well, we can talk about that on Monday. There's no great rush
So just
on
go page 2, go back one.
Yeah.
At the top it's got page 2.
Because I've got to be out of here within 15 minutes. I've got an agenda to finish before I go.
Entertainment on the Miracle Mile night, we've got Vince Silvestro, correct?
Yes.
So advertising, the Daily Telegraph.
Yeah, but I just told you, all we want to do is, you went through the Entertainment on Miracle Mile night. We want to do the advertising. Let's go on that. What are we up to?
Daily Telegraph.
Yeah.
Prices that I gave you.
Yeah, forget that at the moment. Next.
Sky Channel.
Yes.
So do we need to book advertising space?
Yeah, John's going to fix that up.
I've got the generic advertisement script. Can you read that when you're
ready?
ready?
Yeah, I'll read that. That's excellent. And what else you got as far as advertising? So I've really got no time, Jacqueline. I'm sorry.
So you don't want to talk about the rug, nothing?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing else other than...
So Sports Tonight is an advertisement? Sports Tonight?
Yeah, we fixed that. That's it. That's all I've got time for. I've got to go. Okay, John, let's go.
Start by asking you why are you taking this action today?
Because we believe the council is acting illegally, and I think the words that were used in the court was urban terrorism. I mean, they've denied us natural justice. They've never ever approached us to see what our viewpoint is with regards to all this. And I just believe it's a political stunt by the mayor, who hasn't got a high profile and is running for the seat of Low for pre-selection. And unfortunately, she's picked a high-profile person like Harold Park, and we're just an innocent victim in the whole situation.
What sort of damage could be sustained if the trucks are called in?
Other than the reputation damage that the club will suffer, I mean, it's receiving negative publicity, which it has no control over because it's done nothing wrong, but it's in the millions of dollars in damages. I mean, it's our #1 racing event. It's described as the Melbourne Cup of Harness Racing, and it's exactly that. It's the Melbourne Cup of Harness Racing. It generates the most TAB turnover of any harness racing event in Australasia.
An update report as a consequence of court action today. Anyone wish to say anything?
I don't approve of any blockading of the, or attempting to blockade or any obstruction at all that trots on this, especially the Miracle Mile, the Melbourne Cup night of trotting, and I'm strongly opposed to it.
I'm not going to be one of these councillors that sits here and because money's on the other side of the table, you've got to genuflect and bow to it. We're here to defend the rights of the citizens. That's what we were elected for. If we can't do that, the honourable thing to do is to resign.
Madam Mayor, depending on what happens tomorrow in the court, we would like the council to consider to at least supplying one garbage truck to be at the front of any procession, so that, you know, it doesn't become total chaos down there.
Perhaps if Councillor Sheehan is prepared to take it on board in her motion, we may add something to say that the council truck will not be used to blockade the road, merely as requested to use to head the cavalcade. That way I think we clarify any uncertainty in anyone's mind as to the intent. We have all tried for well over 2 years to negotiate a settlement and to clarify issues. And so if the residents after 2 years or more are getting a little bit frustrated and wish to show that by protesting, I think it's very extravagant to call it urban terrorism.
We won by further than Ali Tomo won the Cherry Pickers Cup. By a long, long way we won.
So what's happened?
They've granted the injunction and absolutely took every point of law that we put forward and just completely disregarded everything that they put forward.
Justice prevails. That's the motto for the day. I mean, the judge was scathing on the attack on Leichhardt Council. Total abuse of power is what we've been suggesting. They've denied us natural justice, which they've done at all times. They've never, ever asked us for our side of the story. And I don't think the judge today could have been more scathing on Leichhardt Council and the mayor. So it's a great victory for justice, and it just goes to show you that in modern society, you can't have urban terrorism. Thank you. It'd be interesting to see how the nuisance over there react. That's what she was regarded in the court, as a nuisance.
Look, Council resolved last night to no longer take part in a blockade, but to support a protest. I'll have to now look at that decision in the light of this judgment and determine what it is possible for Council to do.
So Council resources will still be used on Friday night?
Well, I will have to review that.
So any further plans for action?
Well, we'll certainly have to look at what we can do to get the promised hockey field in the centre of Harold Park.
What do we want? Hockey field! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Hockey field! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Hockey field! When do we want it?
We gave them that land, the community, and the community really hasn't got anything in return.
They promised us a field, and now they're going back on what they're saying. They're liars.
We've got no problem with free enterprise. The track's been here since 1896. What we're upset about is that he hasn't played straight, he's not fair, he's not reasonable, he's and he hasn't said what he promised he'd do.
Don't worry. Oh, I got to be worried.
Had a busy day, no doubt. Busy few days.
Busy few days, mate.
I'd say, but I tell you what, Alan Jones has been worth it, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, no, he's been excellent.
Hasn't he been, didn't he? Give that council some stick the other day.
Well, the council deserves a stick.
Yeah. Didn't he give him some stick?
You right there? I'll give you a hand, Rob.
Oh, no, we'll get where we've got to get there.
Okay. That's the main escalator where everyone comes up. So if you just play here, as the people start to come in, they'll be in the entrance here and that entrance down there. Just that a bit of atmosphere, then she'll take over from there. Feel all right, terrific. You know you've got to toggle against tonight that the entrees are going to be over there. They should have another table there. The bloody, whoever set the lucky crew room up needs shooting. It's a bloody disgrace. Oh, they've got tables, they've got different types of chairs, they've got them in the middle of the people can't walk through. Bloody ridiculous. Well, mate, get as many as you can up there, mate, because it looks empty. And the other thing is, the seafood platter, you organise that with the kitchen stands and money, so I'll just go and pick it up. Yep. And the coffee and tea, you told someone in the members' dining room.
I think another few cheers for the council who have had to be gagged tonight, but in symbolic form have turned up here in a gagged manner.
How come they're all lined along the road? What are they doing that for? All right, no worries, mate. But how many of them is there? The protesters are copying a heap of abuse from the patrons coming in, calling them gooses and they should put a hose on them, and so I hope it doesn't get out of hand out there. They're not very happy with the protesters.
Gallagher, if you lose the mount. The handbook if you're following, we're looking for Rosenthal 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that order, please.
This will beat each way because he's a real stayer. But he's going to be.
I've tipped I've tipped this horse number 5 here.
Oh, yeah, Frosty, yeah, he'll go all right.
You are responsible.
Hey, mate, you know how people count sheep at night? I go, Hockey 1, Hockey 2, Hockey 3.
Now stand by, bits will come to the straight, and here come the fireworks. There they go.
There'll be an announcement in a minute. Is it? Yep. Oh, they're just doing an analysis, mate. We'll know in about 2 minutes.
What are they doing?
Checking to see this pre-race swab. Did they got it back from the other side? See? I can't say too much, but it's an irregularity in the swab.
What's the impact of that?
Well, a horse has got to be drug-free onto a track. You can't go in there with any drugs.
So what's the disaster?
Betting. It'll just... Betting. Superfecta won't be able to be run. That probably had 200,000 in the pool. And the adverse publicity. Peter Tritton did 18 months for it. And Peter V.Landys is going to jump off a grandstand for it. Hey. Have you spoken to the 2 year?
Yeah,
they're going to go out with the news, are they?
Yeah, news will be on 10, but...
Right. That might have a headline.
Well, we can put it...
Press is welcome.
You ready to go in? He's scratched. Horse is scratched. He's scratched. Yeah, he's scratched. And the race will be put back 20 minutes. He's scratched, yeah.
Apparently, is this legal in New Zealand and not legal?
I'm not 100% certain if it's legal in New Zealand. I'll have to check that, Caroline. I'm not 100% sure. But it's definitely illegal in Australia. We've got... Can I just see all the directors for a minute? John? We've got a major problem. We've got a scratching. Christian Cullen's returned a positive swab, and he's scratched. So...
before we announce it?
Now.
What's the positive?
We're going to... Well, apparently it's not illegal in New Zealand, but it's illegal over here. We put the race back 20 minutes to give everyone a chance to spit on Christian Cullen to get their money back. Reinvest. Yeah, they've had that. Yeah, very disappointing.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's an important announcement. Please take note. In the Miracle Mile, we have a late scratching. Number 4, Christian Cullen, has been withdrawn. Taken out at 9:49 due to a pre-race prohibited substance. The pre-race prohibited substance has produced a late scratching here. Christian Cullen has been withdrawn through the AJC laboratory test. Found that a prohibited substance, and under the rules has been withdrawn.
Oh, over 20,000. It's a big crowd, massive crowd. Restaurants full, there's over 1,000 in there. The public stands are full. It's just a catastrophe. Catastrophe.
Now, when do you want to put them on the track?
They're ready to go now?
Well, in 5 minutes.
I'd put them on the track in 5 minutes. Right. The people that have bet on Christian Cullen, they mightn't have another bet. And we had a superfecta pool on it. There's 6 horses, and you can't have a superfecta with 5 horses. So all that betting's gone. There's a couple of $100,000 there. Unbelievable. To run the 1997 Aristocrat Miracle Mile winner, our Sir Lancelot. It's a catastrophe. mean, you know, you promote this race. You got probably the best promotion we've had in years. And the blockade, even though it was adverse publicity, it was still good promotion. I mean, it got us in the headline news. It got us on the national telecast news. It's regarded as the Melbourne Cup of harness racing, and all the promotion just seems wasted, doesn't it? I mean, just now you're going to get this bad press about, and people will see this negatively. They won't see it as positively as I've just described it. So it's a disaster. But I'm waiting the conspiracy of the Glebe Hockey Club. I'm just waiting to see where it's all coming from.
In a moment, a look at the gamblers for next Wednesday. Tomorrow night, Australian Story enters the private life of the country's most controversial sex columnist, Ruth Ostro, who comes from a long line of rabbis. Australian Story, tomorrow night at 8:30. Coming up next, Express.